I'm gonna take it back for just 1 second because you were explaining earlier that you kind of found this through, you know, the New York City goth scene, and so did
I. Remember Hidden Shadows? Oh man,
no, we can't get on this call right now and talk about all that. We do that another time.
Okay, next time.
I definitely understand that, like, merging of like taking from places, and then like you look at yourself at like 20 years old, and then you look at yourself at 32 years old, and you're like, damn. Bitch.
Right? No, my God. I apologize to anyone who knew me from like 2009.
I'm like, listen,
like
I told y'all this is what it's going to be. But in all of that time, and like we'll take from a more so in the kinky timeline versus the goth timeline,
right?
What do you think was your like favorite nastiest kink memory? Now, it doesn't have to be with a client. It can just be something that you did solo dolo. It could have been something you did with your partner. But like, you know, give us a little kink, baby. Bring a little
great, because I have a list. That's great.
You got a list.
You said you got a list.
A list.
One favorite
one thing
that stands out.
Oh God.
Mm-hmm.
See, this is the problem. Narrowing it down, right?
Make it work.
It's like asking the Beatles what favorite Beatles song.
Gotta make it Ringo. Make it work, Ringo. Let's go.
Oh God, yes, I would be Ringo. Absolutely, I would be. I would narrate Thomas the Tank Engine. Okay, so
like that's me.
That's me. So I was waxing. And it was no sexual thing. I was at home waxing.
Mm-hmm. Waxing.
And this was my first
waxing what? Waxing what?
Oh, eyebrows. I was just waxing my eyebrows and my mustache, right? Okay. Right? Because I can't Groucho Marx it all the time. I'm sorry. So he was a douche. This guy was a douche. And this isn't nasty in the way like, oh, it's so sexy, nasty. No. I took my hand, right? Because he was being a he had his boxers on. So I'm like, okay, you want to see how this feels? You want to be an asshole? I'm like, let's see how this feels. And I'm not gonna give you the details. I'm just going straight to it. I put my hand in the pot because I don't care. And enough of it is on my hand. So I pull it down. He's like, he's not really fighting back because he kind of knows what's happening. And I grab his junk, some of his taint too. Like, I don't know. It's balls, but mostly just, I don't care where.
It's like a bunch of grapes. You just grab.
Right. I just went, I love you. That's all I did. Asshole. Anyway, I'm like, okay, you ready? Are you ready? He's like, no, I'm not ready, because it was hot. So I'm like, cool. I'm gonna let it cool here for a second, though. I'm gonna let it cool here. Ready? And I didn't pull the skin back like a professional waxer. No. I didn't trim his hair. I didn't put pre-wax. And I'm like, blah! Oh, Jesus! And I'm just like, I can still see it in my hand. That's how vivid this memory is. And I'm like, yeah. I don't think I'm gonna see you anymore. That was about it. He was an asshole. I mean, I was young. He was an asshole. It was funny.
So what happens when you get your balls grabbed in a hot wax?
And he was into pain anyway, but not that kind of pain.
Okay.
So you know, he was a master.
Was he a hairy fellow?
He was a hairy fellow.
Oh, so that hurt on multiple.
So that hurt, and I'm glad. And
I mean, you did get your message across.
I did. Yeah, he was like, "Oh, it doesn't hurt that much," blah blah. Because he was also a brat. Now that I'm thinking about it, he was a fucking brat because he was very antagonizing. And back then I wasn't who I am now, so I didn't like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, ew. So I just with him, and he probably probably regretted it, but he also probably still masturbates to this.
Is that your favorite? That's your fun? That's the spank wheel? That's the fucking...
No, that's not spank wheel. That's just my, like, being the nastiest, sadist, like, horrible person I could possibly...
Oh, okay. That totally makes sense.
Yeah, okay. Sluttiest. Here we go. So,
you gotta think it real when somebody, like,
pulls... Oh, yeah.
First one pull the hair back. Like, all right, you want the business.
All right.
Let me get comfortable.
It's hot. Oh boy. All right. Let's see. Okay. Here we go. Where was I? So I used to be on a bike a lot, right? And a person of mine used to also be on a bike a lot. And sometimes you wear those cycling bibs, you know, and they have the pads on the pads, right? So I'd be riding all day. So not just the chamois butter was in there, but you know, my butter was in there. Cool.
Yummy.
Cool.
Love it.
So this was we were probably drinking because I had to pee a lot, so it means I was drinking. And I stopped to pee, and I'm like, oh, I don't have any paper. And yeah, he turns out to be my toilet paper, and that's one of. And then we start fucking in the park.
I was hoping that's where I was going. I was like, in my head, I was like, yes, is that where this is going?
Yes, it's where it's going.
The wedding nasty goodness. Yes.
So if you're ever on the FDR and you
come on with it, public play with your nasty ass.
Hell yeah, it was all along that bike path along the FDR from South Street Seaport all the way to 30 whatever the ferry. Oh yeah, I have up all up and down them. I probably peed up and down the too, but I definitely have all up and down. West side too, goddammit, but mostly the east side because I'm on the east side and I have to go uptown to. All right, so it's on my way home.
Right, I feel you.
Right, it had to be convenient. It had to be convenient, yeah. And it was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. We did so much nasty things.
Good.
What a
the look on your face right now, like there was just like a moment of just reminiscent. Just,
oh yeah. I'm like, fuck.
That far away, dreamy look. You're just like, yeah,
right.
I remember those times.
I'm like, yay.
Okay, so can I ask, like going off of like your kink story, I want to know.
Yeah.
What are your own personal fetishes, your own personal kinks? Like what like makes you tick?
Well, like I just said, definitely does. Public, but also nasty, like not caring, not in uninhibited private. That's fun. That's great. But if we're gonna list it, let me see. So as a sadist, obviously I love giving pain, but like in the physical sense, so I love being very physical, whether it be with my own hands or, you know, a tool or whatever. That's always fun. Mostly because I like hearing the cries and like, or whatever they sound like. I don't know. That's always fun to hear. I love that. That gets me going. Yeah. Like I had a session with the kitty like the other day and there was not much impact, but once I got like the cane and started like tapping her butt, I'm like, yeah, this is doing it for me. Just a little bit, even if it's a little. I love ball busting. Like so much. Yes, so much. Blah, 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 blah.
Do that shit.
It was one time at the den, this guy was hanging upside down and we had drawn a target on his sack. And my husband modifies Nerf guns.
Nice.
So they really shoot really hard. So that was great.
It was cool when I met him, but now it makes him even more cool.
You want one? He got you.
I really do though.
No question. Okay, great. You hit me up, and he got you. Seriously, he's got wall. Actually, do you see the wall over there by any chance of Nerf?
Oh wow.
You see it?
Oh,
yes.
That's awesome.
He about it.
A wall.
You know how much money he would make if he like marketed himself out to Doms?
Seriously.
So
especially during COVID,
too, yeah.
like I don't have to get close to you. I can shoot you from across the room with a Nerf gun. Are you
Thing at its finest? Come on
yeah.
now. I want 2 orders, please.
Okay, great. Got you. Let me get my receipt pad. Hold on.
Right. Yeah. Yo, are you kidding?
No, seriously. If y'all want, just let me know.
No, I'm not playing with you. I'm on.
Okay, great. Okay, I will let him know. He's on his way home, so I'm like, hey, Paige wants to
Did they shoot anything other than Nerf balls? Like, say for instance, silicone balls, or maybe like I don't know.
He has little darts that are spears. They're like, yeah, oh yeah. And he's got crazy white boys in Connecticut. So
we're on Zoom, y'all. We can't be talking like this. People don't get our ideas.
No, we can totally. This is. We're just, this is role play.
Okay, yeah, totally. Yeah. No, I'm like,
there's suction cups.
I'll wake up tomorrow and my phone is talking about, buy Nerf guns. I'm coming for you. I'm coming for.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Right, that's their fault.
Right,
that's not my fault.
Mind your business. This is the adults are talking.
It's my fault. It's my fault.
No, I love that. That's amazing.
Wait, so now I'm gonna ask another question. I got all the questions. So
okay.
Because I forgot. I don't even know how I forgot about your husband real quick. But because the first time was that the first time that we met?
Probably.
At the Kink party and you were there with your husband. So like, how did y'all get together? And who was kinky? Like, were you kinky before you got into this?
Oh boy.
Kinky? Like, how did that? Are y'all kinky together? I'm not trying to get into your sheets or nothing, but I'm nosy here.
No, yeah. I mean, this is great. So funny enough, I love telling the story of how we met. We met on MySpace of all places because MySpace, like Tom, like
dude, take me all the way back.
Oh man, 2000.
Wait, how old were you?
16.
Yes,
I was 19 and a half. 19 and a half.
Okay.
Yeah, I was a little one. I was young. And, let's see. So I made an Evanescence fan page because no other page had my song, which was Whisper.
Wait, did you say Evanescence fan page?
Yes, I did say Evanescence.
Oh my God, tell me about my childhood. Yes.
Remember Whisper? That was my jam. And I needed that song on my profile. What? Yes, you know exactly what I mean. The song is playing in your head right now.
It is.
Anyway,
so
love that song.
Worm for the rest of the night.
You play it for the rest of the night. Yo, you know what? And their first album was good. That blue album, not the one with her face, but it was a plain blue album. Like, it was a good album. And then she got so whatever. We're not gonna talk about that. Anyway, MySpace. Woo! My phone got upset. MySpace. Yeah. And of course, I put my own picture, my own friend page, my own personal page as #1 friend. And he ends up following both, and we just end up talking back and forth, and that's it. And here we are. And to answer you, if
from MySpace to marriage, that should be a
MySpace to marriage.
There we go.
With a little brat who's the love of my life. He's a pain in my ass, but he's the best. And to answer your question, I was always freaky, always. But I was very selective of who I was with, right? Like, wasn't just with anybody. But he just nasty. He's nasty. I'm freaky nasty. So together we're freak nasty.
Hey, I love that.
I remember when he first tossed the salad, as they say. It was in a movie theater that my mother used to work in that we frequented because we got half tickets, free admission and whatever. So that was the first time I found out about him. And then when we first had sex, he's like, okay, I'm going to in your mouth. And then you're going to spit it in my mouth. And then I'm going to swallow it.
You nasty get that yes.
And I'm 19, like, okay.
Sure. Come on.
And he's like 26,
right.
27. So he's lived, obviously, a little more.
Right. Yeah.
We're doing the fuck out. Not even he just opened the door. You're like, oh, I can do this. Oh, I can do this. Okay.
Look, you already knew if it was gonna be some shit when he booty in the movie theater that your mama owned. Hell, come on now.
I can't wait for him to listen to this. It's gonna be great.
He putting in work. Hell, put it down, brother man.
Yep. Since the get, it's true. Yep. He turned me out early. That man. He turned me out early. I remember one time. After a hotel romp, we went to go meet up my friends to smoke some weed because that's what you do in Queens. All right, you go to hotels on Queens Boulevard, and then you go meet with your friends to go smoke some weed. And I coughed, and it hurt so much. Cough, ow! That's how hard we were going. That's how it was when we first started. Back now we're like, okay, are we doing it? Should I clean up? What are we doing? We got to plan it out, which is okay. It's fine to plan out some fun sometimes.
But you being a mother and in this relationship, how does that like balance with kink? Like, do you have any fears with like your kid like finding out in a couple of years? Like, is it going to be a whole Madonna sex coffee table book? You did it and then you want to try to take it back kind of shit? Nah, I got my copy. No. I got my copy. You can't take it back.
Like, Ma, it's published. It's published. It's a hard copy. It's in my hands. No.
Do you have any like fear of that when he gets older, or like in your relationship?
I've always thought about this, and I'm like, we're open. We're pretty open to the point. I'm not doing it in front of these kids. You know, I'm not like doing my thing for, but we're open to the fact like there's like nude art in the house. You know, excuse me, I have a mannequin with my lace mask and my hat on it. And I'm not like afraid that it's gonna corrupt him or anything like that. You know, I don't leave my tools out. I got a big ass suitcase under there. He can't get into it yet. Awesome. If he ever does, when he does, because he's a nosy Libra, you know, be like,
no, I applaud that. I think that's amazing. I am very much, and now I don't have children, so I can't speak from the mother perspective. I can only speak from just in dealing with people and having worked with youth. Like, if the more open you are with things, and that's not saying that you are showing it to them or you're putting it in their face, but it's like a perfect example, you know, drinking age in Europe is 16. Drinking age here is 21. What happens? If you were around your parents who were drinking and talking and like it's a casual thing and there's no stigma and there's no taboo and there's no shame around it, the child doesn't feel like it's out of the norms. They see it as something else to learn. They see it as something else that's part of life. And versus the kids who like are told from 16 and, you know, birth, you cannot drink until you're 21. When they turn 18, they go on benders and do horrible because they are not exposed to it. You know, and I think that's a beautiful thing. It's like, listen, I don't know how old your child is now, but it's the idea of like, no, if you have a question, come and talk to me. Like, if you have something to say, you know, if you have, you know, you want to know what this is, if it is appropriate, I will talk about it. And if not, I'll just give you the, the old saying, like, when you're older, we'll talk about it.
Right. When you're old enough, when you're in college, exactly. And so I'm lucky enough, though. I have, an almost 16-year-old here too, who has recently come out to us as queer. So we're very proud of him. We're just so proud of him. And we, he's more aware, he's more conscious. And he's seen my stuff. Reg came to me and was like, hey, did you leave your little purple butt plug out lying around? I'm like, no, I never leave my shit around because children. Right. And I'm like, did this boy go ahead looking for something? He's at that age where he's curious, and he's like, oh, and I confront him about it. He's like, oh yeah, but you do you. I'm like, you don't gotta tell me that. I've been doing this since 1987. Okay, you gotta do me.
I'm gonna do me anyway.
Right, do me anyway. Come here. Thinking you wise now. Listen.
They get a butt plug one time and they lose their minds.
Right? Exactly. It's like, oh, they know everything now. I know what a butt plug is. Life is it. That's it. I've made it. I know what life is all about. Butt plugs. Purple ones with little jewels at the end.
Exactly.
But I'm not worried. I'm not particularly worried because it's like, I mean, the baby actually, when I got my first whip, he picked it up because I guess he saw me practicing and he was like, what the? And he's pretty good. Listen, if he wants to end up learning how to throw a whip, I could always say, hey, this is your grandparents, this is ancestors wrangling the cattle in the farms in the campo. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, good. It's all about sex. And that's what people are always, that's the problem. People like always make it about sex, like breastfeeding, them adult titties are out. So what? You eat the babies that eat. Up. Right. It's not all about sex. Shut up. God. Don't forget, we're using most of these things that were made for animals. Okay. Right. Stocks, crops,
medical things, or like
medical things. Yeah. So
these are all
we just repurpose.
Completely valid in whatever tool whatever purpose they were meant for. We've just repurposed them.
Correct. Right. Things that oppressed our ancestors. Things that were used to non-consensually. The real term of sadism, is
right.
They use that now. Here we are using it in a form of liberation, which I'm very proud to do that, and I feel like I'm blessed by my foremothers who had to give up their lives and never rediscover themselves after, their children and what have you. And I was lucky enough to, blessed enough to, and I give them thanks, and I, credit them as much as I can, because they are our foremothers and fathers. They went through it, and here we are trying to like reclaim it and being the rebels that we are.
Exactly. Out here living their wildest dreams, man. Beat them,
right.
Beat them, step on them, whip them.
Exactly.
Shit.
My dad spent his whole life serving white people, because he was in him and my uncle ran a 4-star French restaurant, Upper West Side. So near me. And he served his whole life serving. He loved doing it. Don't get me wrong. But here I am, his daughter, and he's looking at me in the afterlife. He's like this. He's had his hand on his hips, like, that's my girl, like that's all he could do at this point. He's like, okay.
I feel that.
Don't get me wrong, I'll still feed them like he used to, but after certain things. So it's a different kind of I know it's not like veneration in a traditional sense, what I do or what have you, but we all know that there's a lot of ritual to this lifestyle. And
absolutely.
So it felt very natural to like bring those two together. And without that, I don't think I'd be who I am now. I wouldn't know you guys, and I wouldn't be happily where I am. So I'm thankful, definitely.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
It's a journey. Because shit, we've all gone on some crazy ass motherfucking journeys.
Oh yeah.
And we out here shining, melanin popping.
Melanin popping in the sun, getting blacker.
Doing the things, man.
Fuck yeah.
It's important that that's seen. And even if it's for a moment, I'd rather be a moment than not at all. And and it all starts with a moment. It doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter where, like, oh, you're a mother or you're this. And I think that's more important. I think as women, or women identifying individuals, like, we're always taught that our lives are supposed to end after motherhood. Our sexuality is sapped up. We are no longer desirable. Or as women who don't have children, once we get to past a certain age, we are no longer coveted. And I think that BDSM and even our own sense of ritual and our own sense of spirituality, we understand that it shifts and it changes and it moves and it grows. And to find an outlet of kink and power that we can still like rediscover and retransform ourselves. And that's exactly what you did. That's exactly what you did. And you're a standing testament to that.
Thank you. I like to lead by example, for sure. And I'm really blessed to have found my way here. And, it was a dream of mine and I made it happen. And sometimes saying it out loud is like, oh yeah, I did, didn't I? You have those moments.
You did that. Only like, oh, I did that. Yeah, I did that. Yeah, fuck I did.
Yeah,
man.
And time doesn't mean anything. I know a lot of us feel like, oh, time, especially women and femmes, we had an expiration date or a time frame to do this and that and the third, no matter if you even want to do it or not, like it's unfair. And lucky enough that this community, I feel like it's accepting enough of, who, no matter where, not just like where you came from, but like who you were beforehand. It doesn't matter, because when you're in this space and you like kind of like get a chance to cultivate who you want to be, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know it was an idea for me, it was an idea of who I wanted to be, and not knowing like what outlet, not knowing where to go, or not knowing like where the resources were, what have you. But luckily enough, like I said, the community was welcoming enough, and it's just, yeah, man, I love y'all, and that's why I'm trying to give back as much as I can, and I'll continue to. So I really appreciate you guys inviting me on your show. And yay. Yay. And it was a lot of fun. Reg is about to walk in, so I don't know if y'all gonna hear him walk in.
You done dropped the phone.
I'm dropping the phone. I know.
That's all right. What about you, Daddy? You over there being kind of quiet.
I'm just listening.
I know y'all can't see Daddy's face right now, but just all smiles and listening and just
because like I really like sitting back and like appreciating the power of women and the way that we evolve and take up space and step into ourselves, especially in kink, right? Like however we do it.
Absolutely.
Especially in kink. The story that you told of like how you came into it, how you've been evolving and like where you are, I can relate to it on so many levels, even though I'm not a mother. You know, I have no children of my own. I have no intention of having children outside of plants and pets, you know, but sure. I relate to that story, losing myself and finding myself again in this lifestyle, in this, you know, exploration of myself, you know, and I really appreciate you for just being willing to be fearful and still move forward.
Hold on, wait, babe, hold on. I don't know where she went. She just disappeared.
I thought it was frozen for a second. Okay.
There she goes.
I don't know what happened, girl.
You're muted, Maddox.
You gotta unmute yourself.
Yay. Okay. Mercury's still in retrograde. Let's not forget.
Okay.
No, like we've been just talking about this
like on my end, man.
Yep.
I was like, damn, yo, I'm talking about a shadow effect, but
no, like I was in this clubhouse room the other day, and they were talking about Mercury retrograde and how we typically will try and like blame all of the things that are going wrong on this entity outside of ourselves, when really the message is coming from inside of ourselves. Yes, is going wrong, but also what is it trying to teach you? What is it trying to tell you? Can you slow down? Can you take a breath? Can you take appreciation of this moment? And all of the inconsistencies of where you want it to go, and be present and focused and just content in this moment. And like all my like, yo, I broke 3 phones this week. Like
I got a deadline. You can't be up right now.
Yo, like all my up. Computers been up. Everything, yo. And like,
oh no.
There's the point where like I could get pissed off and irate and like, you know, punch a wall, or I could slow my ass down and breathe a little bit and try and figure out, okay, you right, I have been running nonstop. You right, I ain't been feeding me. I've been feeding Ashley hard than a and this other person in here, she is not happy. Let me take accountability, you know? So.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. I agree. And sometimes Mercury retrograde, you know, nothing really bad happens. I mean, we all kind of expect something bad to happen, and it's just it's just change.
Transition.
Yeah, right. Just change. Yeah. Just change. We all got to go through it many times. Yeah,
well,
buddy.
Thank you so much for being on DommeNation, Maddox. That was.
Oh, but hold on, before you get off, you know we want to have you back, right? Because we're going to do an Instagram live. We want to see you in all your magnificence, and like we want to talk to you again. Yes, we want to talk to you again.
Okay, yeah. Whenever.
Okay.
Whenever. You mean after the Zoom or at another date?
Another day. Like in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Like okay, cool. So yeah, I'll be here. I'll be here. Hooray!
I'm very excited for everybody to hear this. I think there's a lot of people that need to hear it, and so I'm honored.
Oh, before we drop off,
yeah, me too.
One more question, because actually I have 2 more questions.
Okay.
So, told us your story, little taste of a little sliver, right? Are there any tips or recommendations or tools that you would, I don't know, offer to anyone that specifically is a mother or Latinx, a Black Latinx woman, queer person that's, you know, identifies with you in some way in your story? Would you offer them any tips, any I don't know, advice to your younger self?
Advice to like any parent out there, like I'm sorry?
Or even your younger self, or, you know, moms or Latinx women, queer people, whatever coming in, whatever.
I just feel like if you want to do it, you should give it a shot. You know, like if you feel I don't know, sometimes you just gotta switch things up to make things happen, you know, if that makes sense. Try looking at a different way. That's definitely something I've learned over the years. You know, it could look like it's like there's no end in sight for certain things, especially when you're a new parent, but there is, and your support system in your community, it's really important. And if anyone, you know, wants to reach out to me, feel free. I have a good listening ear.
Yeah, man, it's important to have the elders. It's important to have people who know.
Yeah, the elders are there for a reason. You know, there's a lot of community, you know, there's a lot of group effort nowadays to like get people the help they need. So don't be ashamed or afraid to reach out. That's definitely something. And I guess I could give that same advice to my younger self, right? I mean, yeah, because I was you know, I was definitely you know, one of those bullied kids as a kid, but it never affected me enough for me to change who I was, luckily enough.
It just made you who you was.
It kind of made me who I am, yeah. And
you was, you know what I was trying to say, were,
yeah, in the grammar. Yeah. I got you. I got you. You know, and I'm definitely telling that younger me, like, hey man, I know it's tough and there's gonna be a lot more tougher things when you get older, but hey, you're cool. You're cool. Don't worry about it. You're cool and you're gonna be okay. And if you want to do it, you can do it. Is it weird? Probably, but do it because you never know.
Facts.
Yeah. Is it weird? Yeah, you look weird. That's fine. But definitely to that hurt kid, you know, that used to get like trash thrown at them and being told like this, that, and the third, like, man, damn, look who you are. Look where you're at now. Okay. There's people who have paid you for pictures of your and they masturbate to it on a regular that you know about. So I know I've always been brash. So, and I was way more brash as a kid. So that's definitely how you're gonna have to communicate to younger me. Hey man, you're gonna take a in the toilet one day and you're gonna take a picture of it and you're gonna send it to somebody and they're gonna pay you money for it.
Right. Perspective, me. Fucking perspective. Motherfuckers pay you for pictures of your shit. You are that. You are the one. Hell, don't ever get it twisted.
And there we are.
Yeah. Okay, so how can the people find you? What are things that you're working on?
Oh my goodness. Yes. I'm on all the socials. Definitely follow me on Blue Hat Pussy and you can follow everything else you know, there, all my links where they live and all that. Right now, I'm waiting on a live stream with Bella Vendetta, Martine Phoenix, and Chelsea Poe. We just did this virtual pass around pig film, so that should be cool. We're doing a live stream of that. That just dropped. That's this weekend. Let's see. I have more. You know, I picked up photography again, so you know I'm doing a lot more shooting on the other side. Anybody who like is a swer or, you know, person of color, a budding model who needs like, you know, whatever, just come to me and I'm definitely not charging while I'm learning. So yay. Good for, you know, that's my way of giving back. And I'd want to help as much as possible. So that's always, you know, you got to give back. And God, just like, yeah, that's about it. Like just creative stuff, you know, making things, seeing what happens.
We're not privy to everything yet. You have signed certain clauses that you know you got to be quiet about. So it's all right.
Sure.
You know, you just gotta, you know, you'll pop up on us with something.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I'm just going along with it. That's what I always do. My newsletter, you know, that's more personal. I write for me from the heart there. But God, yeah. Just check me out on Instagram and I pretty much plug you into everything else. And yeah, that's about it, man. And I'm gonna go smoke some weed and eat some food. And that's about it. I think Reg is here if y'all want to say hey. Hold on.
I was looking at the cat.
Oh, you saw the cat?
Yeah.
Well, Okay, yeah, you just want to go outside. Look at meow. Look at meow. This is Wolfie. Yes. He's part of Lady Euphoria's brood. She had 2 cats who had kittens, and he's one of 4 brothers, and he's been living with us for about a year.
So very nice. Very adorable.
He's my little. Why are you puffy? Look at that puffy tail.
He's like, I want to go outside, woman. Let me out.
He does. They're stray cats he's been around with. So yeah.
I belong to the streets.
Yeah, no.
Yo.
You're my kitty. Oh my God, this phone. Jesus, all this technical. All right.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Thank you so much for talking to us and sharing.
Of course.
I love sharing.
Amazing. Absolutely.
I was very happy to receive that email. I'm like, oh my God, yay. Because I know you guys had just started over the whole quarantine and so I'm like, oh cool, that'd be dope. One day I'm like, here I am, yay. So it really means a lot because anything that's run by women, femmes of color, I'm there for pretty much. You guys have my full support.
Thank you. I mean,
of course.
Definitely appreciate it. Yeah, no, that was a lot of fun. And I'm so excited we got to have her on because I'm really happy with seeing her and everybody that was on bonding and actually getting to talk about it and get to hear her experience. So that was really good. That was really, really good. So how you feeling, Miss? How you want to end this?
Fantastic. I'm right where I need to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really really enjoyed talking to her, especially about the whole idea of, I think, ageism and motherhood, and especially because you see so much of youth promoted even more now because we have social media and like she said, the expiration date that I feel like a lot of femmes and women have, where you're too old to transition, you're too old to come out as queer, you're too old to do this, you're too old to do that, you can never do that, blah, 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 blah. Whatever the list is, it's always the to-do list, or the to-not do list, basically. And I love the fact that she's a mom. I think a lot of people always think it's this single woman desperate move.
Right.
And it's not. It's very much a conscious choice to do what the fuck you're gonna do, and doing this after giving birth and after being a mother. And like I said, the whole idea of just being honest with your children, I think it starts with them at that place so they don't become this weird ostracized individual because
this awkward person.
Yeah.
And then also the support that she has with her partner and
truth.
That understanding and that compatibility, that's
communication and comprehension. Hell yeah.
Yeah, just seeing Black love and then seeing you're also this kinky individual, this queer, this creative, this all around well-versed human, whole complex individual that is a mother, that is a daughter, that is a wife, that is a educator, that is a sex worker, all these things, and a businesswoman on top of that. It's empowering to see that,
Absolutely.
Necessary, hell.
Yeah, in so many ways. So
yeah, I'm looking forward to having them all again. So, let's let the children go. We've entertained them enough for an evening.
I think so.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed this episode. I definitely did. And my weed on the way, y'all.
There we go. I mean, that's all we need to know. The weed is coming.
That is good news for me.
The sun will rise. Yeah, no, this episode was actually fantastic, and I'm very excited for next month as well. We can't give any clues or tips, but we're excited. And you should be too.
We also have even more good news. If you haven't seen the updates and the posts already, we are getting ready to launch on YouTube and all podcast platforms. So you are going to be able to hear our beautiful voices and get some education and, get a little toe dip into the lifestyle and understand, that we're all actually just humaning. Hope y'all enjoyed the evening, the day, whenever you're listening to this. And be sure to tune in for next time because we got more smut coming for that ass.